Hello, hello, hello. Good morning sa lahat ng mga kaibigan saan man sulok ng mundo. Good morning sa inyong lahat. 5 million in the house. Thank you so much. Good morning sa inyong lahat. Manonood muna tayo sa mga kasinungalingan ng mga politiko. Thank you guys sa 7 million in the house.
Stella F. sa Landanan. DBM is represented by Acting Chief Budget and Management Specialist Evita Fontanilla, together with Jaylee Ann San Miguel and Clarissa May Jogno. That's all for CDA, Senator.
We'd like to make a very short presentation, simply highlighting the salient points of your budget. We're well aware of what your budget looks like, and you don't need to go into the details. But perhaps you can highlight the changes that we can observe between 2024 and 2025. Yes, we invite the head of agency.
Hello po, Ma'am Malus. Sigo mega love shout out. Good morning from Calbayo City, Samar. Thank you po ma'am sa taga Samar. Shout out sa taga Samar. Thank you.
Yusek Joseph and Cabo to please present very quickly. We have a lot to go through.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to this committee, allowing CDA to present its budget. Madam Chair, the CDA budget for FY 2025 under the National Expenditure Program is 933.259 million, which marks a significant 32% decrease compared to its 2024 General Appropriations Act allocation of 1.3 billion. The primary reasons for this, Madam Chair, the reduction is the non-approval of our locally funded projects and our infrastructure buildings for 2025, as well as the reduced an allocation for cooperative development programs. And shortly, Madam Chair, quickly, there is a decrease on the MOOE, which is around 49.5%, and the capital outlay, which is 72.5%, Madam Chair. So as of August 31, 2024, Madam Chair, the CDA was able to utilize 566.79 million or 40.5% of its allotted budget. And our agency was able to disburse 93.8% of this amount. Significant increase in the utilization is expected by end of October 2024 as locally funded projects will be completed on the said month and towards the end of this quarter. So far, Madam Chair, that's our brief presentation of our budget for 2025, Madam Chair. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Yusek Cabo. And with that, you'll allow me to ask some of the questions that I'm certain my peers in the Senate will also be asking. The budget of CDA decreased from, as you stated, there's a reduction of 344 million plus. However, despite the reduction, you are now stating the traveling expenses under 2025 will almost double. Why should that be so? Why will you be spending and prioritizing travel over everything else? I enjoin the other committees to please maintain silence as we have to focus on the Cooperative Development Authority. You may leave the room if you're not yet up, if you have nothing to do with the CDA po, Dr. Loreche. Yes, you can.
Yes, Madam Chair, the expenditure on the travel is somehow associated on the conduct of our inspection of our cooperative development specialists.
Somehow po, is there a
to the-
breakdown? Can we understand? Double is up.
we do the ceiling of our travel, Madam Chair, because we need to inspect the cooperatives that are operating and
And you
compliant.
didn't inspect them before?
The conduct of the inspection, Madam Chair, is a basis.
That's right.
Yes.
Pero karaan taon, mas maraming dihamak yung ating mga nasa 22,000. Ngayon, ang pinagmamalaki ninyo na ibaba ng halos 20,000, kung nabawasan yung bibisitahin, bakit nagdoble ang gasto sa pagbibisita?
Actually, Madam Chair, for last year, we had seen 5,000 per CDS in the conduct of the inspection and travel every month.
Yes, I'm not discussing the ceiling. I'm just inquiring why there's an urgent need to suddenly visit all these co-ops that you never did in the past. I'm
Compared,
simply asking you to justify the
Yes.
proposal. I'm not objecting.
yes, Madam Chair.
I just need to understand why it's suddenly blown up to double when in fact your overall budget has been reduced.
Yes, Madam Chair. The impact for that is in the 2024 budget, we had an increase and we also allocated an increase of their travel for purpose of inspection, which we doubled because we have somehow a limited budget for 2023 compared to last year. And since
Pasensya, naguluhan ako ng todo. Can you please put the explanation in writing? I'm unable to understand why it doubled.
yes, Madam Chair, we will submit your office.
Parang nalito ako. You're now referring to 2022, 2023, and 2024. I'm just saying it's doubled in 2025 from 2024. Yun lang po. Bakit bumalik tayo sa 4 na taon?
I'm sorry for that, Madam Chair. We are putting more premium on the conduct of inspection. So budget is given due to the inspection process of our CDS to the cooperative. So we allocated an increase for that, Madam Chair.
So I would also like to understand your justification in the light of the reduction in your budget. Is it meet and proper that you expend so much on traveling? Ngayon na nagtitipid kayo dapat, hindi ba may pang prioridad ang ating mga co-op maliban sa pagbabiyahe ng CDA?
As of this year, Madam Chair, and next year, the budget related to our inspection, examination, and
Sino-sino ba nagbabiyahe? Ang pagkaalam ko, may regional offices naman kayo.
yes, Madam Chair, we have.
Meron namang field offices.
Yes, Madam Chair, and we
Yes, so relative to your budget, why is your traveling expense so high?
we allocate the budget to the different regions, Madam Chair, and it all depends also on the number of cooperatives operating in the region. Some have a large number.
Saan ang pinakamadami?
As of now, Madam Chair, we have in Region 3, we have more than around 3,000 cooperatives, Madam Chair.
Sana sinabi ninyo, island region of Visayas, maniniwala po pa ako. Pero sa Region 3, puro kalsada lang yan, madali magbiyahe at mura lang.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Wala namang islang tatawirin, patag na patag, wala rin bundok.
We understood, Madam Chair. And
I'm sorry, I don't.
we will try to reassess our budget on this, Madam Chair. But
Region 3 ba ang pinakamalaking allocation sa travel expense? I just need
Yeah.
justification. I'm just perplexed. I will have to defend this not only in the plenary but also to the co-ops themselves who have been crying for more assistance, and yet are going to expend a significant of your budget on a doubled amount for mere traveling.
Compared to three, Madam Chair, and other regions in Visayas, the proportionate number of co-ops would likely be affecting also the budget requirement on them. So just like in,
Kaya nga, hindi nga maliwanag. Una, sinabi ninyo, kasi maraming inspection din, so yung lugar na pinakamadaming co-op. So, maraming co-op sa Region 3, pero puro patag, may daan, at puro land-based. Ngayon, kung malaki ang traveling, dahil nasa Visayas, maintindihan pa kasi puros isla. Kung asa Mindanao, apakahirap pumunta, kulang-kulang ang mga kalsada at marami ring isla. Pero hindi ko maintindihan yung paliwanag mo. Number of co-ops ba? Distansya ba? Hirap ba magbiyahe? Alin ba?
it's one of the reasons, Madam Chair, is also the proximity, the distance po. That's why every time the regions provide their work and financial plan, it is also related to the distance and the number of co-ops.
Ako yung sumagot nun eh.
Eventually, Madam Chair, your observation is right.
Hindi, paliwanag mo to. Hindi ko maipapaliwanag to sa co-op at sa DBM. What's the participation of CDA in the highly controversial PUV modernization program? What have you done with regard to the PUV modernization? We know there's an Office of Transport Co-ops under the DOTR. What is the linkage? Because we never quite understood the intersection between your agency as well as the DOTR.
The CDA, Madam Chair, fully supports the modernization program. So the intervention...
Sana naman, bahagi kayo ng administrasyon.
Yes po. And when it comes to
What I'm asking, paano kayo naghahati ng trabaho? Alin ang papel ng CDA? Alin ang papel ng DOTR?
by the time that these transport groups will be converted to a cooperative, Madam Chair, that's we provide the hand-holding program to them. At the same time,
Teka, paano nag-umpisa yan? Halimbawa, may grupo ng namamasada, anong mangyayari? Sinong magtitipon-tipon sa kanila at magsasabi na maging co-op na kayo?
once they manifested their intent, Madam Chair,
Saan sila lalapit? DOTR o sa inyo?
sa amin po. Then,
Sa inyo?
Yes po. Then,
Pero
upon
yung mga requisitos ninyo napakatataas, no? Dapat ilang membro, ilang taon na. Eh, syempre, bago pa lang to, hindi sila magko-comply sa qualifications ng CDA.
Yun-
2-3 taon, di ba? Eh, hindi
ma'am-
pa in existence yung mga yan, kaya nga kinukumpun eh.
well, regardless of the years of existence, ma'am, once we receive an endorsement from DOTR, LTFRB, and OTC, immediately the CDA reaches out to these transport groups.
Teka,
to
saan
conduct-
nanggaling? Saan nanggaling yung reach out? Sino mag-manifest? Kasi you're not actually in daily constant contact
Yes, ma'am.
with the transport groups, right?
Yes, ma'am.
DOTR is the one?
As we receive
You received the request from whom?
from OTC, ma'am, an endorsement that this
So, ang
particular
nauna
transport,
OTC. Hindi
Yes.
tama yung sinabi mo kanina na lumalapit sa inyo yung mga namamasada.
what I mean, Madam Chair, is upon receipt of their endorsement, they will present it to CDA. Then we will schedule for a
Upon receipt
pre-registration
of whose endorsement?
from OTC po.
So, it's OTC that... so, who triggers the entire process? Para maintindihan natin. Kasi very problematic to. Hindi nga maintindihan. Hindi rin naintindihan na CDA. Eh talagang malaking problema natin.
Kasi ang
So, saan nag-umpisa? Sinong lalapitan ng ating mga namamasadang nagnanais maging co-op? Saan muna pupunta? Ganun lang kasimple.
yes, ma'am. Pag na-identify na po ng OTC, yung,
Teka muna. Namamasada ako. Gusto ko maging co-op kasama ng aking mga karuta. Saan ako pupunta?
well,
Sa iyo ba o kay OTC?
OTC muna, ma'am.
So, sa
Para-
OTC muna.
Yes, ma'am.
Ngayon, okay.
Para
Ang hirap makakuha ng sagot sa iyo, Josephine Cabo, Yusek.
sa OTC muna,
Hirap
ma'am.
po ako. Okay, OTC pala, hindi pala CDA.
Yes.
Sabi mo kasi kanina, lalapit sa inyo. Kung sino man ang lalapit sa inyo na transport co-op. Eh, yung pala, kailangan lalapit sa OTC. Okay, nasa OTC na tayo. Anong mangyayari ngayon?
So, magkakaroon po sila, ma'am, ng endorsement or a note coming from from OTC, ipapakita sa amin dahil magtatayo po sila ng co-op at bibigyan agad namin, ma'am, ng tinatawag na pre-registration seminar. And we will provide them also the necessary requirements that they have to comply as manifesting their interest to become cooperatives.
Okay lang yan, pero alam na natin hindi sila qualified. Under your rules, hindi naman sila qualified kasi yung mga 2 years in existence, X number of members, etc. Siyempre, hindi naman sila matagal nang nag-ooperate. Paano po yun? Hindi sila magka-qualify.
Well, on our mandate, Madam Chair, we don't require a specific number of years to become cooperative po. Ang importante lang po is a number of individuals that will meet the requirements to become a cooperative po, which is
Number
minimum
of
of 15.
members,
Minimum
capital,
of 15.
assets.
Yes, ma'am. Minimum of 15.
15 members lang.
Yeah po.
O tapos, so no need for the years. Kasi dati ito yung problema, 2 years, di
No,
ba?
no
3
need,
years.
ma'am. No need po.
No. O ano pa?
Well,
Ano mangyayari no? Okay, nakapag-comply, tapos na yung pre-registration seminar, what happens next?
so after complying all the requirements, ma'am, we will inform the LTFRB and the OTC again that this particular
Where do you conduct the pre-registration seminars? I'm sorry.
it depends on their preference, ma'am. Sometimes in a barangay covered court.
Hindi, pero you go all over the country? If
Yeah,
it occurs in Davao?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and paano yun? Nagbabayad ba sila o ilang araw ba yan?
Wala pong bayad, Madam Chair.
Yeah, and
It's
then
on-
ilang araw?
well, in a general application, ma'am, it's 1 day.
General meaning?
Yeah, 1 day po. Kasi paminsan, ma'am, yung mga transport natin,
So
nire-request.
gastos ninyo yun?
Yes, ma'am. Opo,
Pero
ma'am.
yung 1 day na bubuo nila, isang araw na hindi mamamasada, afford ba nila yan?
Yung nga, ma'am, paminsan po, may 2, may 3, kasi nagre-request po sila, ma'am, na kung pwede 2 to 3 hours lang per day dahil mamamasada po sila, then we adjust naman po.
Okay. So, what assistance then do you give the co-ops to start out? Sabi mo may hand-holding?
Yes, ma'am. We basically focus on the fundamentals of cooperatives. We teach them the governance on cooperatives so that once...
No, we understand that. We understand that. That's not assistance. You're just lecturing them. Can you
Well-
tell me, is there any assistance after the pre-registration seminar that's provided by the CDA?
Aside from the ma'am, wala na po. And of course, ma'am, we have the accounting system introduced to them to help them in their
Oh, pero
audited financial...
tinuturo naman natin yan sa lahat ng co-op, di ba? O, so, ang special sa transport. Tinatanong ko lang, ano ang pakinabang maging co-op para sa isang grupo ng namamasada? Hindi naman kayo nagbibigay ng financial assistance, sabi mo. Meron ba? Meron bang halaga sa budget for livelihood program for displaced transport operators? Magkano? What are the mechanics?
Yes, one of the approaches that we introduced to the transport cooperatives, ma'am, is to bridge them to other big cooperatives for livelihood program.
No, understood. But ipapasa lang ninyo sa billionaire co-ops yan.
Yes.
They may or may not agree. But in the meantime, you have no livelihood program for these transport co-ops and neither does
Uh,
DOTR. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Anong pakinabang maging co-op?
Well, the members are
So
all
there's no financial assistance. I have that.
coming
on-
from the CDA, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
CDA provides no. Pero marami kayong pera pang transport ha. Pero wala kayong pang financial assistance. Paano natin ipagtatanggol yan?
Unless, ma'am, if we have we can allocate for a budget for that. And there is a
Kasi
proposal.
sabi ninyo, kailangan mag-handhold kasi bago pa yung co-op eh.
Yes, ma'am.
Eh bakit walang financial assistance man lang? Yung
Well-
DOTR, meron ba sila sa OTC ng financial assistance?
For as far as I'm concerned, ma'am, the OTC provides training on refleeting program.
Ang dami naman ninyong training, patong-patong ang training.
Uh,
Maririndi naman yan sa kate training. Eh, namamasada pa at naghahanap buhay yung tao. Magte-training sa CDA, may training na naman sa OTC. Pero, walang assistance? Ganun ba yun?
Well, we propose a program, ma'am, to mitigate their economic needs, no?
What program?
And that's why we're asking
What
for
program is that po?
for the drivers, ma'am. I mean for the transport cooperatives affected by the public utility modernization program,
What program is that na?
mitigating program, ma'am, in the amount of what's this? The financial assistance of
Nasaan? Meron na sa 2025 budget?
proposal, ma'am. It's requesting to
So wala.
oh yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you proposed, but what happened? But rejected
Hindi
by
po na
DDM.
it's not included in the NEP, ma'am.
Yeah. But was it included in your submission to the DBCC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, may I see that submission? You please submit that. So we have to record that wala naman tulong. Sasagutin ba ninyo pag napilitan mag-utang, syempre ang ating mga driver at operator? Sasagutin ba ninyo yung utang? Co-guarantor ba kayo dyan?
No, ma'am.
O hindi rin kayo co-guarantor?
Yes, ma'am.
Ang OTC hindi rin co-guarantor?
Yes, ma'am.
O ang tanong ko
Correct.
lang, anong pakinabang maging co-op sa ilalim ng OTC o CDA kung hindi naman kayo nagbibigay ng tulong at maliban doon, hindi rin ninyo sasagutin yung utang kapag hindi nakabayad at hinila ng bangko?
Well, in the context of one of the principles of cooperativism, ma'am, yung self-help, all of the members will be part of the obligation to
Hindi, kasi ang
support.
sinasabi ng ating mga driver, ang transport operator, ang lagi lang sinasabi, kapag naging co-op kami, magiging empleyado kami sa co-op na yan.
Yeah.
Samantalang ngayon, kami ang nagmeme-ari ng aming sasakyan. So, paano mo sasagutin yon? Kasi yan ang sinasagot ko araw-araw. Pag hinaharap ko ang ating mga jeepney at iba pang operator.
Well, basically, ma'am, Madam Chair, is they share all the income that they've got for their cooperatives. And that's why we have this so-called patronage refunds or the
Paano nga
dividends.
magkaka-income eh? May
Yeah.
utang nga eh.
Well,
You start out burdened with utang dahil kukuha ka ng bagong sasakyan.
yes, ma'am. The credit confidence naman po is manggagaling din sa mga GFIs natin, ma'am, to the cooperatives. And they will be evaluated based
Hindi,
on
ang pagkalam ko, yung GFI, hindi ba ang grant natin nasa 160 lang? Samantalang ang bagong sasakyan na level 4 nasa halos 3 million.
yes po.
So
And,
ano yung GFIs na sinasabi mo?
well, the land bank and the DP, ma'am, provides loans on them.
Yes, magkano yung loan?
Depend
Paano natin ibebenta yung co-op kung walang bentaha mag-co-op? Yun nga sinasabi nila eh.
unless, ma'am, if the
Do you know what the loans are like? Magkano ang loan para sa isang sasakyan, sa isang pinakamaliit, bagong co-op, nakikinse ang miyembro? Magkano yung loan? Saka yung interest?
if a co-op is granted around 10 units, most likely they have around 30 million loans coming from GFIs po.
Tapos,
Approximately.
anong interest?
Uh,
Siguro you give us siguro isa pa yan, isubmit na lang ninyo kasi I have so many to go through. But honestly, I think you should be
we
better prepared. The effort to cooperativize. I cannot sell this effort to transport groups.
yes, ma'am.
Wala ang bentaha kasi sa katutak na training na hindi naman nila gusto kasi nakakaalintala ng hanap buhay. Pagkatapos, mangungutang pala, pero hindi naman kayo co-guarantor. Di pa natin alam kung magkano yung interest. Paano ba yan? Ang grant pagkaliit-liit, ang taas-taas ng modelong hinihingi.
We will refer to the guidelines of the LTFRB, ma'am, regarding the
Okay.
interest.
Yeah,
Because,
I thought I would take this opportunity to ask you because you are part and parcel of this program. What have you accomplished in any case since there is zero assistance? What are the registration and fees required? What are the registration procedures and fees? Sino nagre-rehistro? Ang CDA or OTC?
Ang CDA po, and the registration fee is only around 500 pesos naman po.
Yeah, and then regular fees thereafter.
100 pesos po every time there's a submission of requirements every year.
No, sa taon-taon.
100 certificate of compliance, ma'am, is worth
100?
100 pesos po
Ganon.
every year po. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's not very expensive, but the question arises, what is the point? What's the advantage? Kumbaga benefit selling, what's in it for the members kung wala naman financial assistance, wala naman preferential loan?
The certificate of compliance, ma'am, is based on the requirements submitted by them, mandatory requirements and reports,
No, I know, that's the
Yes.
same case with
And-
every single
and-
co-op in the entire country.
and
That
tax
makes it
exemption.
no different from the transport co-ops. I'm just asking, this is a specific, extremely hard-hit sector, and we are now compelling them to become co-ops. All I need to ask and understand is why would they want to do so? Anong benepisyo sa kanila na maging co-op? Bakit hindi na lang sila manatiling hindi co-op?
Well, the business engagements are somehow
Dahil hinuhuli kapag walang rehistro. Totoo, yun lang
Yeah.
sinasabi namin. Para hindi lang, sinasabi sa amin, para lang hindi kami hulihin.
well, that is the framework of LTFRB, Madam Chair. But for purpose of having them inspected every year, they're required to submit mandatory reports is a for the purpose of being a good standing cooperative and for purpose of tax
No,
exemption.
that's not my purpose. My purpose is, what is the understanding of CDA? Since you are trying to sell cooperativism to our transport sector, what are the benefits that you highlight to them? Until this moment, I haven't heard of a single benefit from your end.
Well, being part of a cooperative,
Maliban sa pinipilit sila, pagkat huhulihin sila kung hindi sila miyembro ng co-op, maliban doon, ligtas huli, ano pa ang bentahan nito?
well, the purpose of establishing a cooperative, ma'am, is to
I'm not
encourage.
talking about co-ops in general. I'm talking about the transport co-ops. Can we just focus on
Yeah.
transport co-ops, please? That's the topic. It doesn't matter if we don't know the answer, please submit in writing. Okay,
will do,
let's
ma'am.
proceed. So we don't know the answer. We resign to the fact that we have embarked into a partnership with OTC DOTR entirely blind as to the benefits of what we're doing. This is really a scary moment for public service.
Well, the framework really belongs to the LTFRB, ma'am. So we are, yes, we are part and
nakikisakay lang
parcel of
kayo.
it. Yes.
Dapat may pag-uunawa rin, di ba, sa ginagawa?
We don't have the luxury of providing them financial assistance as well. So we're sorry about that, Madam Chair.
No, you don't need to apologize to me. I just need to explain bakit mas maganda, mas bentaha kapag naging miyembro sila ng co-op. Kasi hanggang ngayon, di ko pa rin maintindihan. Paano ko papaliwanag pag tinanong ako? At
Well-
lagi akong tinatanong.
Well, it also applies sa transport co-op, ma'am, that if they become members of a cooperative, they will have an equal shares of the income that they get from the cooperative. So as they share also the risk, they also share the benefits of being a cooperative, as a member of a cooperative.
Yung iba nga, ayaw yan eh. Kasi magpapakamatay sila ng 16, 20-hour shifts para lang makakuha ng mas maraming pera at buhayin ng kanilang pamilya. Makikishare pa sila sa mga tinatamad.
Yes,
Maraming
ma'am.
sayang yun eh.
Yes, ma'am. We understand. As the CDA continues to promote the viability and growth of the cooperatives, we also continue to support, ma'am, the best practices that they should observe, so that
I'm
result
sorry.
to that.
I'm sorry,
they
but
will
that's not
benefit, yes,
responsive. That's really not responsive. Can you get back to LTFRB? Please get back to OTC so that you understand your role, even as you provide some kind of service in pre-registration seminars. It would be nice if all the agencies involved actually understood what they were doing. This is a very dangerous precedent. Let's proceed. An allotment of 250 million under the Coconut Farmers Fund was provided in 2022, of which you have only utilized little over a half. In 2023, out of the 250 allocated, again, even less was utilized, 23.6 million. What's going on? Ang dami-daming humihingi ng pera, pero ang CTA na may pera galing sa Coconut Farmers Fund, hindi nakakapagbigay ng tulong, gumastos, o mag-liquidate. Ano ba nangyayari?
The 225 ma'am, intended for processing plant and the
Aling taon to? Let's
2023.
I asked 2022 muna. 2022 muna tayo. Ano na ang liquidation dyan?
Uh, yes. In the 2022, ma'am, we were,
Kapatid, mainit. Sumagot ka naman kaagad.
yeah, 2022, ma'am, we hit 50% of our,
Teka,
Utilization.
2022, ang nakalista dito, little over half has
Yes,
been
ma'am.
spent. Tama?
yes, ma'am. But the budget
O
was down.
ngayon, sinoli na.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Then,
Sinoli na kasi nag-expire na yan at the end of last year.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what happens now?
tama po.
Now, have you taken action for the unutilized funds para maibalik sa inyo? Kasi pera ninyo yan.
Yes,
Or at least pera ng coconut farmer.
yes, ma'am. Ni-request na po namin yung,
What ninyo rin-request? Gusto mo po? Anong pangalan ninyo?
can I,
Yeah,
Yes,
just sit
okay.
down. Are you the financial officer?
yes,
Yes, please introduce yourself. You're recognized by the chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Yes, your name,
I'm-
please.
I'm Mr. Joselito Aliasco, the Director of Credit Surety Fund Cooperatives and the concurrent Finance Division Chief. Regarding the CFIDP, Madam Chair, in 2022, or almost 50% to 50 million, because the fund was given to us somewhere on the last quarter.
Yes, I recall
Yes,
it was released
yes.
released in
We
November.
requested the said fund, sabi ng, we were told
Yeah,
na,
but if it was released November 2022, you have 2 years, di ba?
it is a automatic reversal to the treasury, to
When
the
was it
principal
reversed?
fund.
Can you give me a timeline here? Kailan na-release? November 2022?
Somewhere in October 2022, tapos we implemented the program
Okay,
until December 31, 2022.
okay.
The remaining amount was reverted to the principal fund of the CFIDP.
It's okay. When did you write? We've been through this. Dapat alam niyo lahat ng sagot nito kasi sirang plaka na ako. Ito pinag-usapan na last year, di ba? Last year,
Yes, Madam
sabi
Chair.
ninyo na nagsulat kayo. Kailan kayo nagsulat?
This was asked in the next year budget hearing. So
In the
we'll
next budget hearing, you did not write them in the entire 2023, the first half. Wala pang budget
So
hearing.
we have written them,
Kaya nga,
Madam
give me
Chair.
a date when the first letter demanding the return of the reverted funds was made.
Though I'm not first or second quarter, Madam Chair, we will check with the date. We will
Yes,
submit to
you
your
should,
we will
because
submit to your office, and
You know, we went through this last year. Dapat kayang-kaya na ninyo tong timeline na to, na tanong na to eh. Tapos, sumagot ang treasury. Anong sabi? Anong sabi nila? Walang sagot?
ang sinabi naman nila, Madam Chair, is that we will implement the 2023 before going to download the 2022 that was reverted to the principal fund.
So,
But then
in
again-
fact, it's lost. So, you already lost for the coconut farmers upwards of almost 120 million. Masaya yan. 120 million
Yes po, Madam
of
Chair.
the 2022. Ngayon, yung 2023, mas malala. Out of the 250 allocated na naman, 23.6 million lang ang ginastos.
Yes, Madam
Bakit
Chair.
nga?
Because in the work and
Kaya, ba't hindi magastos? Di ko maintindihan yung 23.6. Ang dami-daming ahensya rito naghihikahos. Lahat naglilimos ng budget na karagdagan.
yes.
Kayo, milyon-milyon, hundreds of millions, sinusoli ninyo. Parang naman napakayayaman ng ating mga mangnyunyog.
Yes, Madam Chair. In 2023, the same 250 million, but the 200 million of that is for the establishment of the processing plant. And that was not
Has it
pursued.
been built?
No, no, Madam Chair. It
Oh.
was not pursued because of, I guess the chair can.
Yeah, as per evaluation, Madam Chair, there was a defect on the developmental plan that was intended for CFIDP, and it should be
Who made the plan that was defective?
Oh, well, it has been initiated by
Was
PCA.
it the
Madam Chair.
PCA or
Yes.
was it the CDA? Siyempre, wala kayong expertise dyan.
Yeah,
Malay
yes.
naman ninyo sa
The
development
PCA,
plan.
ma'am, made the
What year
initiated
was that?
2020, Madam Chair.
Hindi, 2020 budget ang pinag-uusapan ngayon. You said,
Yes, Madam Chair, 2023, we're not able to implement
mas
it.
lalo kami nalilito pag sumasagot ka eh.
I'm referring to the 2022 of crafting of the development plan. We failed to implement it on 2023 because of yung po hindi pagpapit sa
Now, in 2023, ayaw mo na yung 2022, nawala ninyo yung 120 million pagkat napaka-late na pinadala sa inyo ng pera ayon sa inyo. 2023, 250 na naman. Out of the 250, ang sinasabi ninyo ngayon, defective na naman yung development plan. At hindi na pinursige yung processing plan. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am, because based sa batas po, the city's role is only to establish cooperatives and empower them through trainings po.
So what happened na naman sa 2023, 250 million?
Na-revert na naman.
Na-revert na din po,
O,
Madam.
magkano na-revert?
225
Ah?
million po.
200?
225 million po. Current report of coconut farmers that will be created for the processing plant.
Federation, eh wala pang primary.
May mga primary na po, ma'am. That was the
Eh, ba't
intention supposedly.
bigay sa primaries na pilitin magbuo ng federation?
Kasi doon sa work and financial plan na submitted to PCA and approved by the PCA, on the 2023, it is the construction of the processing plant and the
No,
25 million
For
assistance.
past the processing plant, I gave up. 25 million is for financial assistance that could really have helped. Ang daming nagrereklamo dito. Talagang nagplano sila na bibigyan ninyo, pero hindi ninyo binigyan. Bakit?
There are two components, Madam Chair, that we are not allowed to implement. One, the construction of the processing plant.
We're
Second,
done with the
yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm talking about the 25 million. Can we focus? We have a lot of people here, a lot of agencies to go through. Let's just answer to the point.
Yes, that's a financial assistance, ma'am, that we are not allowed also to implement.
Why are you not allowed to implement? Ang title nga, financial assistance. Director Aliasgo, maybe you can help us. Kasasabi lamang, yung 25 million ay para sa financial assistance. And now Yusek Encabo is saying you're not allowed to give financial assistance. Alin ba talaga?
Yes, Madam Chair. During that time po, the work and financial plan was questioned together with the financial assistance that it should not be given.
Question by whom? Procedure say.
Yeah,
what
the
happened.
office of Senator Villar, ma'am, and at the same time,
So the Committee on Agriculture.
yes, and the DOJ also provided a legal opinion that the CDA cannot implement provision of manufacturing plant and the provision of the financial assistance, ma'am. We will just
When
focus.
was the legal opinion provided? Can you give me a date? Bakit hindi nag-realign? Pera ng manyunyog yan, nawawala, taon-taon.
We were instructed by PCA, ma'am, to focus on the
Yes, but now you're
training.
telling me, hindi. Oh, pumalpak na, defective yung plan. Defective din yung processing plant na hindi pinatayo. Ngayon yung financial assistance, hindi pwede rin magbigay ng financial assistance? Ano
Madam Chair.
balak ninyo yan? ASEC, I'm not sure if it's Ginomla or Disimban.
Pendatun Disimban po, ma'am.
Okay, yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Teka, yung legal opinion, kailan ibinigay? Matapos lang po. Legal opinion ng DOJ, 2023, 250 release.
Yeah, around first quarter of 2023, ma'am.
Date,
We're checking.
by the way.
We will provide your office immediate copy of that. We'll just securing it, ma'am, from the head office.
Kapatid, paano tayo magtatapos kapag ganito ng ganito? Okay, yes, Asek Pendaton, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Related dun po sa nabanggit nyo na issues, kung ano ba yung pakinabang ng mga cooperative sa CDA. Yung po yung sinasabi namin, ito sa Coco Levy, ma'am, nag-implement na po kami ng financial assistance sa mga cooperatives ng coconut farmers, 250,000 per cooperatives during the year 2023.
Iba naman to, wala itong kinalaman sa transport co-op. Yung transport co-op walang pera. Ito may pera, kaya talagang walang dahilan.
Yes, ma'am. Nagbigay po kami ng financial assistance. Kasi gusto po namin na matulungan agad sila. Yes po, per region. Then, pagkatapos po noon, sinabi po sa amin ng Office of the Senate Villar na we are not authorized to provide financial assistance under the law ng Coco Levy. So, sa amin naman po, alam namin na yung po yung inihingi ng mga coconut farmers. Ahanin po nilang trainings kung wala rin po sila capital assistance.
Kung nasa 25 million yung financial assistance, ano nangyari?
Madam Chair,
Sinoli na lang
it was
ninyo.
reverted
Yung
back again to
250
the
na
principal.
pinamigay sa mga co-op, binalik? Ganun ba yun?
Then, nabigay na po sa kanila, Madam Chair. Kasi late na sa amin,
2022, Madam Chair.
2022.
The
Yes.
first year of implementation, there are financial assistance.
About 2022.
Yes, there were financial assistance and training
Bakit
given.
hindi nyo kausap CDA? Kaya lahat ng co-op hilo sa inyo, pati ako hilo na rin. Okay, next. Oo, so, pero we're now talking about 2023, tapos 2022.
Yes.
Oh,
Yung-
ano nangyari? Bakit sa 2022, yung legal opinion, walang no processing plant, no plant, and also no financial assistance? So what are you allowed to do with the money?
Training na lang po. Yung training na lang po, Madam Chair, na component nung
250 million sa sangkatauhan training, kaya hindi ninyo nauubos.
yes, Madam.
Kaya nasa 23.6 lang ang disbursement.
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam Chair.
How many farmer associations have been converted to full-on co-ops? If you can provide me a coherent timeline, Director Haliasgo, can you give me a coherent timeline for the expenditures? Yung 2022, pakihiwalay sa 2023, please. Yung 2023, hiwalay din at pati yung 2024. At nakakahilo po kayo mag-present. Ilan Coco Farmers Co-op associations already converted to co-ops? Ilan na ang Coco Farmers Co-op ngayon?
The number of coconut farmer organizations that are assisted to coconut farmer cooperatives, we have 629 po,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, I have that in my notes of how many farmers are now members. I have that also. Yeah, that's fine. I have that. How many farmers belong to those 629 co-ops?
18,330. po,
Okay,
Madam Chair.
this 18,000 represents what percentage of the total number of coconut farmers? Sa madaling sabi, ilan na sa sektor ng mangnyunyog ang naging miyembro na ng co-op? What percentage? Ilan ba talaga ilan ba ang target ninyo na cocoa farmers? What's the target number of cocoa farmers? Ako na mag-compute.
50,018 po, Madam Chair.
Ha?
50,018 po ang ating target.
Ganon.
Up to the end of the program. So 50,018.
Oo,
So
okay
we
na.
have already 18,000.
Is nasa 30.
That's 36%.
Yeah.
po, 36%.
Yeah, that's little over 1/3. So you're not giving them any financial assistance. You cannot also subsidize capital requirements for co-ops.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, maybe you have a copy of that legal opinion. Did you appeal it? When did it come out nga? Kasi wala naman kayong dokumento nila.
February
Alam naman
12,
ito yung
20
issue dito.
February 12,
Alin yung DOJ?
yes, ma'am.
February
February
12, 2024 po, Madam Chair.
So ano daw allowed lang? Puro training.
Training po.
Eh sino
Madam Chair.
magbibigay ng capital assistance? Dapat PCA.
Maybe other implementing agencies po, Madam Chair.
What are the convergence programs, if any, of the CDA to avail of assistance from other agencies that are pointing to now? Meron ba kayong MOA? Meron ba kayong LOI para sa PCA o DA o DAR o kung sino man?
After
Eh,
the
diba? Kasi nag-training kayo. Ngayon, na-training ninyo, umaasa ngayon tong mga mangnunyog, na-training na ninyo, dinatapos na, mag-graduate kayo, nakatunga nga lahat yan, nag-iintay, anong gagawin nila next?
na-endorse po namin sila sa mga ibang implementing agencies.
O,
ma'am.
such as, may MOA ba yan? May kasunduan
Yeah,
ba kayo
yes.
sa For example, kanino kayo ang pinaka-key, anong kasunduan ninyo with PCA? Nagte-train kayo, tapos ibabalik ninyo sa PCA, sila magbibigay ng financial assistance. Paano po ba to? Meron ba kayong MOA sa PCA?
Yes, ma'am.
Anong sabi ng MOA nyo? May PCA MOA kayo? Asan? Nakasaad ba doon na talagang sila ang magbibigay ng kapital pagkatapos ng CDA mag-train?
It's not
Anong sabi
explicitly
ng
mentioned,
MOA?
ma'am. But one of the agent,
Paano ninyo i-endorse? O sige, pumunta kayo, kumatok kayo dyan sa PCA, eto address. Ganun lang ba yun?
Madam Chair, so
Wala ba kayong kusang mga MOA sa PCA? Yung mga may pera para dyan, yung DA, yung
PhilMec,
DAR.
PhilMec, ma'am, we have.
Ha?
PhilMec po.
Anong kinalaman ng film?
Once they're done for mechanization program, ma'am.
Bibigyan ng PhilMec?
Yes, ma'am.
Your MOA is only with PhilMec?
Yung sa
Hindi,
DTI,
pero hindi naman capital puro makinarya lang yan. Wala bang financial?
sa DTI naman po, we are not very sure if there's a financial assistance, but they are being trained on the marketing.
Yusek, ikaw ang boss ng CDA, hindi mo alam kung kanino kami kasunduan, if at all. Yusek, alamin mo naman, oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Hindi ko
Yes, ma'am.
trabaho to, ikaw dapat.
Noted.
Late pa rin ba ang release ng admin funds sa Coconut?
yes,
Your last, yung 2024, when was it released?
the 2024,
2023 muna, when was it released?
sa 2023 po, Madam, wala naman pong admin funds na binigay. So yun yung 225 na nag-revert kasi nga
Okay.
yung processing plan. Sa 2024,
Okay.
we have received the admin fund last September and we deposited it to the
September September. So
yes,
last
Madam.
quarter na naman.
Yes, Madam. And Madam Chair, and
Tapos,
We-
last quarter na naman, tapos you only have 3 months na naman.
yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, the other issue is the personnel. May personnel ba ang CDA para lamang sa CFIDF?
Basically po, Madam Chair, yung ating mga field CDSS that are doing the usual mandate of the CDA are also the ones doing the function for the CFIDP program.
So wala kang additional hires para lamang dito sa perang to?
Wala,
No
wala pa po.
specific Coco hires,
yes, Madam Chair.
Coco fund hires.
Wala po.
Walang item, ganun ba yon?
Wala pa po, Madam
Bakit
Chair.
ba't hindi kayo kumuha ng contractual or something or job order man lang for the meantime? Or outsource the effort?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's one of the plan and the program.
Yes,
But
but
then the amount to be paid for that will be coming from administrative fund or cost. So it was downloaded just this September. So now looking for the 3 months for the last quarter to hire somebody
Ito
so
ah,
that we can implement.
nasa 3 taon, 4 na taon na to, hanggang ngayon di pa natin alam.
No, Madam Chair, yung sa job order at sa COS naman, the amount to be paid will be coming from the admin cost. So the admin cost was downloaded as this September
How much is the admin cost?
for 8 million po, 18 million for the
Ilan ba
city.
yan?
Kulang po talaga, Madam Chair, para 18 million that is to be allocated to all regional offices na kasama doon sa CFIDP program.
So you actually have hired people, but your earlier statement na walang na-hire, correct?
Wala pa po, ma'am. Wala pa talagang na-hire na people for
Yeah,
CFIDP.
JO and contractor.
Yes, we will hire GO and contractor
You
upon the
will-
download.
But
you will
have
hire.
no hire. You have
Yes,
not hired.
yes, Madam Chair.
So what happened to the 18 million?
For ano pa man po, still in DBM, we will be asking ibigay pa po sa amin, Madam Chair. Kasi once it was given by PCA, it was deposited to
Was it given or not given, and when?
no, it was given by PCA to CDA in September. We deposited it to the Treasury and then we requested it to DBM.
PCA, kasi sila dapat ang gumastos.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Eh bakit September? Bakit hindi mas maaga?
There are issues doon din may kasi before the release of the administrative cost, Madam Chair, there is a MOA again with the PCA with regard to the admin cost. So parang doon ata no lahat doon lahat ata sa MOA, Madam Chair, medyo natagalan. So September na po na-download sa amin.
Ang MOA.
No,
Ay,
ang pera.
MOA yun.
One of the requirement for the admin cost is the MOA, Madam Chair.
MOA with whom?
PCA, with
And
PCA and
PCA.
CDA.
Yeah, of course, it would be the first order of business, clearly.
Yes, Madam.
So bakit natagalan? So
Yes,
kailan
Madam
natapos yung MOA?
Around mga August
Oh.
this year, 2024.
Bakit parang Yusek Cabo, sabi mo hindi ka sure kung may PCA MOA? Tapos lang pala. Last month lang.
Yes, ma'am. The admin cost requires MOA, but I was referring kanina, ma'am, yung
Sa
financial assistance. Yes po, ma'am.
Hindi kasama?
Well, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm unable to endorse your budget to the Mother Committee. You have to provide a justification firstly for doubling your traveling expenses given the reduction in your budget. Also, I need a coherent timeline or at least a procedural format for the PUV modernization vis-a-vis OTC and LTFRB. Further, I need as well a report. You know very well that many of my colleagues, including Senator Villar, will question us thoroughly with regard to the CDA and the annual allotments of 250 million under the Coco Development Fund. So I need to understand the DOJ legal opinion. Can you please make a timeline that everyone can understand, and let's not apply 2022 explanations or excuses to 2024. Yes, I also need to understand the issue of the admin fund and the lack of personnel. So with that, we terminate the hearing for today, but you will have to come back with the documents requested. Thank you. You may go now.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay. We proceed now to can we proceed with the Dear citizens, I'm sorry, we'll have to defer. I want to get this out of the way. There's so many questions about your group. So, sige. Credit information and Philippine competition. Philippine competition, kayo na lang mauna. Competition, nariyan na ba? Andyan na kayo? Sinong head of agency? Parang wala dito. Yan po ang ating Credit Information Corporation. We call on the head of agency. If you would like to make a quick presentation highlighting simply the salient points that differ from last year or the questions that arose last year that remain unanswered to the present. Please proceed. Is it Attorney Baltasar? Is that correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair. So good morning to you, Madam Chair, and the rest of the members of this committee. So on behalf of the Credit Information Corporation, we thank this committee for giving us an opportunity to present on our request for subsidy support in 2025. So I'll just go through our slide deck very quickly, but to get to the point, we are requesting for subsidy support in the amount of 62,302,223 pesos, which will be exclusively utilized.
May I ask very quickly also, last year you made it very clear that you would not be needing any national government subsidy. Why are you now asking for 60 million?
Yes, Madam Chair. So you are correct that last year, based on our projections of our activities, we would have been in a position for 2025 to be sufficient. However, we realized here that we had not anticipated a surge of credit information coming from online lenders and other responded to our renewed compliance rules back in November 2023. So right now, if we go to the slide on our data projections, we have already more than doubled the data that we processed in 2023. So in order for us to be able to process this amount of data, which we had not anticipated
Di ba
back then,
dapat baliktad ang nangyari? Dapat na dagdag.
so the way this works po is that we
Yes, I understand the security.
have an IT system.
Yes, I understand the requisites and you've applied security, data information, all involving security of one sort or the other. But my question is, if there was a great uptick in submission, surely you would have had more income. Instead, the reverse has occurred and you're now asking once again for a subsidy. Why is that? I still don't get it.
Yeah, let me clarify, Madam Chair. So when we receive submissions, we do not receive income from those submissions. That is in the exercise of CIC's regulatory powers. So when a lender, microfinance or a bank
Right.
gives data to
So
us, that's free.
The submissions are in fact just submissions in compliance to regulatories, when in fact there's no application for additional data which would require you to collect fees. Ganun ba?
That's correct, Madam
Pero
Chair.
yung pagbibigay nitong mga regulatories na to, siguro may katumbas rin naman yan ng application na karagdagan. Wala bang ganon? Hindi ba nag-upsearch din yung, hindi ba nadagdagan yung mga nag-a-apply din para sa credit information?
There is an increase, Madam Chair, but it is not commensurate to the amount of data that we received.
Okay, we'll try and consider this because you made the very brave assertion last year that you were not going to request any monies and now you're back here again. Bakit?
Madam Chair, so I wanted to stand by that statement because we really are trying our best to be
Okay.
fiscally independent. So it can be seen on our budget historic up, wherein as recently as 2022, 90% of our funding was from the national government,
Yes.
but now it forms the minority of our funding.
Yes, I've held your budget for a while now. I'm quite familiar. So are you saying that next year you will not be asking for money anymore?
That's the plan, Madam Chair. That's our commitment.
Okay, so is there anything I need to see here? I need to ask about your life rather than budget.
Oh, okay.
Meron
Madam Chair, it's just really numbers, and right now we're happy to report that CIC is an upward trajectory, both on the financial as well as the performance metrics. So we have actually secured consecutive high ratings with our regulator, the GCG.
Hindi, it's not quite right eh. Kasi Ang nakikita ko dito, may sinabi ko the corporate funds for the next year estimated to reach a mere 254 million, resulting in a corresponding decrease. So there's a decrease. So you're saying that there's been a climb in all your revenues. In fact, there's been a decrease. It's not quite so. Tama ba? What was admitted in September 2024, yung binigay ninyo sa amin, the corporate fund for next year are estimated to reach only 254. So, bawas yun kesa sa dati. Tama ba yan?
Madam Chair, I think the statement there is with respect to the revenue that we are to generate.
Yes, because you said that year on year you've had rising revenue. It's not quite right because you've actually declined. This is based on your submission.
Madam Chair, I think that might have been a typo. What we are actually representing is a higher budget next year, but we will be maintaining the same level of subsidy support. So our internally generated corporate funds should be increasing by the same amount.
Hindi kasi nagbaba kayo ng projection, di ba dapat, ang sabi ninyo, upcoming year, estimated total COB 257 halos, 256.87. Tapos ngayon, nagbagsak kayo ng projection, nasa 254 na lang. Tama ba yun? It accounts also for some part of your request. Is that correct?
No, Madam Chair. The 254 refers to our internally generated funds. Our total proposed corporate operating budget is actually 316 million. That is higher than our present total.
Talking about revenue, bayaan mo na yung subsidy ng national government. Kasi, imbes na tumataas, biglang bumagsak. Bakit ba?
Madam Chair, I'll have to clarify it's actually increasing because our internal target for this year is 222 million. That is what we declared to the GCG and our PES. So next year will be an increase of roughly around 25. That corresponds to 250 million.
No, I think there's a misunderstanding with the way it's written. So in fact, 254 is the actual in 2024. And perhaps the 256, almost 257 is 2025. Tama ba to?
That's correct,
Because
Madam Chair.
it's not very clear in your presentation, at least the documents that were submitted to me. So there's no decrease actually. It's the projection for 2025 that has been increased.
That's
Yun ba
correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, fine. Right. So I think we've put that aside. Is there anything else in the budget that needs to be discussed?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to highlight that we are going to just use the budget that, the subsidy we're requesting exclusively for cybersecurity and the safety of the data. We believe this is aligned with the parents patria concept that the state must protect its citizens. Considering how much data we have over every Filipino, it actually redounds to, it just comes down to around 1 peso per data point in our database. We believe that this is an use of government funds and should be rightfully supported.
Yes, there is a similar decline. There's a contraction of 15 or almost 16% in 2024 with regard to your total assets. There's a decline in cash balance, is correct?
Hold on.
Yung sa assets, the outlook for, okay, the sentence is, the outlook for the next 2 years indicates contractions of 15.96% 2024, 34.30% 2025. Maybe you'd like to explain, this has to do with local treasury bills, I believe, and the decline in your cash balance.
Yes, Madam Chair. So we've actually started using a cash management plan effective second half of last year upon the version of COA so that we can maximize the use of those funding. Now, the nature of CIC expenditures is that they typically carry over in the year. And therefore, while those services are being rendered, and of course under our policy that we do not pay before a service is rendered. So while that cash is being held, to put them in appropriate placements.
Yes, so that's my understanding as well. So the assets, liabilities, and equity indicated here are part and parcel of the cash management plan that has been effected upon COA's recommendations. Is that correct?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
All right, that's fine. So I think, as I said earlier, I still have to understand the timeline with regard to the opinions on the CIC. Mananatili ba kayo na mag-isa o sasakupin na kayo ng Bangko Sentral? Kaya medyo nalilito kami rito. I believe that there's a date. This was discussed last year, and I believe what happened was the national government has to continue to hold 60% of common shares. And then there are a series of opinions from the Government Corporate Council. Kailan ba to? 2022 to?
For the opinion of the Office of the Government Corporate Council for privatization, that is actually in 2018, Madam Chair. It is through a letter dated September 13.
Okay, and what happened then? I think this was discussed last year, di ba? Tapos ano nangyari noon? Yung September, ayun, wala. Yeah, it wasn't included kasi in your submission, and I have incomplete records. You said September 2018, the Office of the Government Corporate Council said that privatization is not by mere operation of law, but in fact required a favorable recommendation from the GOCC. Tama?
Let me clarify, Madam Chair. It's from the GCG.
GCG, yeah. Okay. So the GCG has since declared that it is favorable or not favorable to privatize. What's happened since?
Madam Chair, so actually to clarify, this was not specifically taken up last year. It was the matter of the activation with BSP. But let me answer your question directly.
Oh, sige. Can you been twists and turns in the opinions regarding your existence. So therefore, can you just walk us through this? You had this first opinion from the Office of the Government Corporate Council in 2018. Ano nangyari pagkatapos noon?
That actually didn't push through precisely because the GCG did not recommendation for the privatization of CT. Therefore, our supervising agency, the SEC, withdrew the motion or the request to the GCG to conduct the privatization. So the privatization matter never pushed through, and it was actually withdrawn back in 2018.
When did the GCG recommend to the SEC that the CIC be deactivated and all its functions be transferred to the Bangko Sentral?
I believe that was in 2022, Madam Chair, but to clarify,
So when did SEC withdraw the privatization? I have no dates.
that was in December
floundering.
2018, Madam Chair.
Sorry?
December 2018, way before.
So way before. Kaya pero thereafter, GCG recommended that your function should actually be transferred to the Bangko Sentral.
It is actually the Office of the President that issued that recommendation. That was a June 27, 2022 memorandum circular,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
I have some kind of information from the GCG as well here, so I'm not certain
Ma'am,
where it derived.
yeah, the documents we're referring to are the ones that we were furnished. So there might be other documents that we did not officially receive or were notified of.
To the best of your understanding, therefore, it came from the OP
Yes, Madam Chair.
in 2022. So why are you still here? It's already 2024.
Madam Chair, my understanding is that the GCG requires a certain clear directive from the Office of the President about
They
ordering.
need another directive.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
But I thought the OP already said that you should be transferred to the BSP. Nalilito ako.
The subject OP issuance only expresses a no objection to the recommendation of the GCG. So we were not furnished a copy of this, but the GCG issued a memorandum
Yes.
in February 9, 2022, but we were not furnished a copy of this document, Madam Chair.
Wait, nauna yung GCG memo kesa sa deactivation of the CIC?
Yes, Madam Chair, I
Tama ba
understand.
yung kwentong to? Parang may nauna tapos biglang binaliktad?
I think the way it works, Madam Chair, under the GCG Act is they will
Kasi
recommend
yung
to the...
GCG, meron silang memo circular, di ba? Dalawa sa matter of fact, to deactivate. Parang ganon. And thereafter, instead of deactivation, biglang transfer to BSP. Somebody can't make up their minds, not just women.
Let me clarify, Madam Chair. So the way it's supposed to work, because it involves the destruction of a GOCC, the GCG makes a recommendation to the Office of the President, which is the one that makes the call to deactivate a GOCC, because we are
That's
part
not
of...
quite right, but I'll go with you on that. Okay, since you're being shunted from one office to the next, and in the meantime having to operate under your own devices, what would you like? What would you like to happen? Dapat ba kayo nasa BSP? Dapat ba kayo ma-privatize? Siyempre, ayaw ninyo ma-privatize. Humihingi pa kayo ng pera. Ano ba dapat mangyari sa palagay ninyo?
Madam Chair, thank you for the question. I think we should continue as we are, given that we have, I said, a positive momentum.
Under the SEC.
Under the present law, Madam Chair, Credit Information System Act, or RA 9510, which presently puts us under the supervision of the SEC.
Kaya nga, so you want to remain under the SEC.
In the
Why?
meantime, Madam Chair,
Why not the BSP then?
we are just concerned that at this point, since we are already improving our operations and activities, that a transition, whether we are privatized or transferred to the BSP, stunt this station and upward
Understood, but
trajectory.
one day, surely credit information rightly belongs to the BSP and not the regulatory.
Yes, eventually, Madam Chair, correct.
Do you see a timeline in your future?
Madam Chair, my understanding is this will require a legislative amendment. So the timeline...
That's what we're here for.
Okay, that's correct, ma'am. Madam Chair.
Kaya nga, tinatanong ko, ano kaya yung maganda? Kasi palipat-lipat na lang, kanya-kanyang opinion, wala naman nangyayari. Hanggang ngayon, naglilimos pa rin kayo, tapos walang kaliwanagan. Di ba mas maganda, magplano na kayo ng sariling buhay nyo? Tapos, si-recommend ninyo sa amin at gagampanan naman namin ang aming katungkulan. At kung kailangan amyendahan ng batas, amyendahan namin. Pero kayo mag-recommend, kabisado nyo yung trabaho nyo eh.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Kesa
Pero
kung
po-
ano-ano nangyayari sa inyo between the GCG, the BSP, the Privatization Council, kung saan-saan kayo nahihila. Di ba mas maganda sabihin na ninyo sa amin, anong nais?
I agree with that, Madam Chair. But since this will require us to consult our stakeholders, especially to kind of consider our recent performance, we will need to together...
Recent performance is a broken promise that you wouldn't come next year. Di ba? Sabi niyo last year. De, biro lang. I mean, good effort. But anyway.
Point taken, Madam Chair. But going back to that point, we are just proceeding with abundance of care because we are dealing with so much data now, and we want to make sure that this is protected because this is the data of our citizens. It is their virtual asset that we are the ones primarily protecting.
I've thought that there's greater data privacy in a bank than the SEC. There have been leaks from the SEC, we know that.
Madam Chair,
Ask the business community. Katakot-takot na chismis yan.
I'm not aware of those leaks, Madam Chair, but for us, right, do have a 5-year plan under our information system strategic plan.
Sure. I respect that. The problem is that we really need to finally understand where you belong.
That's correct, Madam Chair. So
Yes, even your 5-year plan for data privacy and greater cybersecurity cannot be implemented if we're not clear as to your home. So I think first things first, we have to determine the organization to which you belong, di ba?
yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. To clarify, we did not receive any funding from any other government agency.
Understood.
Yeah.
I'm talking about organizationally so that it's most efficient, better secured. You're complaining about the onslaught, for example, example, of submissions. Surely the DICT, for example, would have helped. There's also there are other communications offices in the entire country. You have no access to them as you stand alone today.
We
You
do-
would have if you were reorganized.
With respect to that, Madam Chair, so we do coordinate with them, but we of course know that the onus of defending the data and setting up the systems are with CIC. But we do have a good relationship with the ICT. We coordinate with them for technical assistance and advice. But in terms of fund operations, procuring the necessary security systems, that is on us. But I do agree with your main thesis, Madam Chair. Our organization could stand to be refined and rationalized further. As to the timeline for that, I do
No,
apologize.
I
I cannot.
think the onus is upon you, since we see that you've just been operating on your own, virtually unattended by anyone, and yet you're asking for more money year on year. So I think you have a responsibility to plan forward and recommend both to the legislature as well as to the executive the future of your operations, ano? Kung saan ninyo gusto manatili. Yung SEC parang hindi tama eh. Sa pakiwari ko lang, ewan ko, kaya yung BSP andyan.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Kasi ang sabi ng SEC, wala rin silang pakialam sa kilos ninyo eh.
Madam Chair, our supervising agency has been quite supportive.
Yes, of course they're supportive because they don't mess with you. They don't meddle at all in your operations, di ba?
We are given a wide berth, Madam Chair.
There we go. Ayun. So, I think at a certain point, given, as you said, the value of the assets that you're holding, the quantum of data, information that you have access to, certainly you have to be regulated by someone. This floating status is unacceptable, I believe. Baka may mas kayo para mas efficient kayo, at the same time mas secure. Now, the entire amount that you're requesting is for data security. It's all for cybersecurity, for tightening controls, etc., which, as we acknowledge and understand, we've had more than our share of data break-ins. So, naintindihan natin yon, pero kailangan siguro aralin rin ninyo kung saan tayo papunta, no? Yung direksyon ng ahensya.
Tama po yun, Madam Chair. So, as I mentioned earlier, we do have an internal policy to pursue fiscal sustainability and independence. It just so happened that the promise for this year had to be broken because of unanticipated surge in data, which require us to ask one more time for the help of the national government.
Sure, but these hearings are to finalize the budget and to exercise power of the purse of the legislature. Also, they are at the bottom, fundamentally in aid of legislation. Perhaps you can help us in aid of legislation. So I think I shall endorse this budget, but pending your submission of your recommended situation organizationally, so that we can put an end to the GCG and other queries that arise from time to time, para matapos na yung diskusyon at maliwanagan na yung CIC at pati ako kung saan kayo patungo. Okay, maraming salamat, and with that, the Finance Subcommittee endorses to the Mother Committee of Finance in the Senate the budget of the Credit Information of a further national subsidy of over 62 million pesos, largely for information and cybersecurity expenditures, 62.302 million. Thank you very much. You may leave. Thank you.
We submit your honor and your honor, and we thank you for your indispensable support to the CIC.
Thank you, Baltasar. And we now call on the Philippine Competition Commission and its head of agency. Thank you. You have 2 minutes to shift. Thanks. from the Philippine Competition Commission to Subcommittee I, and perhaps the head of agency, Chairman Michael Aguinaldo, would like to present his budget, or at least its salient points that differ from the preceding year. Thank you. Yes, Chairman.
Yes. Good morning po.
Yes, good morning.
To
Teka muna, I forgot. Beth, I think you need to recognize the resource persons. I also forgot earlier. Doesn't matter. Okay. Mamadali eh. Yes, Secretary Agas, please recognize all those from the Competition Commission, please.
For the Philippine Competition Commission, they are represented by Chairperson Michael G. Aguinaldo, together with Commissioner Mara Victoria Querol and Commissioner Michael Peloton, as well as Commissioner Lolibet Medrano and Commissioner Ferdinand Negre. For the Commission on Audit, they are represented by Supervising Amado Ablao, together with Mr. Roderick Castañeda. For DBM, they're represented by Acting Chief Budget.
yeah, slide number 20, please. Ito yun, di ba? Oo. Okay, by number. The next two slides, please. Yan, okay. Yes, shown on the screen is the comparative matrix from the 2024 GA and the 2025 NEP, which shows a reduction of 71.3 million from our budget of this year. And as compared to our proposed budget for 2025, the reduction amounts to about 116 million. And so we are hoping that we have a wish list.
16 million, since I wasn't privy to the request to DBCC,
Mhm.
what it did constitute?
Okay. Some of these items were items that were adopted last year, but which Your Honor helped restore
Yeah.
in the budget.
Yes, that's
So,
why I'm asking.
Kinaltas na naman
At
po.
hihingin rin ninyo yan eh.
Oo nga.
Unahan ko na kayo.
Oo nga po, ma'am. So, more or less the same items, but there's an additional item that we've requested. More or less the same items, but there's an additional item that we've requested. Your Honor is familiar with, it was in the news that the University of the has agreed to lease to us or give us by way of use of a piece of property in their grounds to put building. And so agreement a couple months ago, and in the process of going through the possible designs, which we have to work with the university on since they have strict guidelines. And so we would need a budget for what they call the detailed architectural and engineering design, or DAED.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what adds to it.
And how
Otherwise,
much is that?
about 30 million.
And what is the anticipated cost of the building, construction and everything na?
Yeah, their estimate is it's going to cost about 1 billion pesos because it will consist of 9 floors with 2 basement parking spaces. In fact, the University of the Philippines.
So that's for a total square footage. You have any idea? We're fixated with that due to our Senate building problems.
1.9. Yeah, I think the floor.
Siguro you can submit it na lang.
Yes, we'll submit the
Yes,
details.
there are mathematicians in the Senate who will immediately break that down on a square footage. So thanks. Okay, I'll do my best. Carry on.
Yeah. Now, the budget that was decreased, just to give you an idea of what it contains, we do have 4 what we call I stations. These are like satellite offices that you find in Cebu, Davao, Baguio, and Lucena. And so the rental for the orders manning those stations, so their salaries are dependent on any additional funding we can get. And then there are other items like maintenance of the data center. Most of these are MOE, operating expenses. The only capital outlay we have is for purchase of motor vehicles because magre-refleeting na po. Yan yung basis po nun. And then we do have, again, like last year, the GOP counterpart for a foreign assisted project.
You have motor vehicles. What was submitted to me, wala kayong CO. Meron pala. Mali pala to. Ang nandito
Yeah.
lang, ICT equipment.
Mm-mm.
Meron kotse?
Yeah, well, the zero kami sa sa DBM for capital outlay.
Ah,
They
okay.
didn't give us
That's why
anything.
what I have here is zero eh.
Yeah.
So you're saying that, in
Y-
fact,
Yeah, what we're asking for in
For
capital
vehicles.
outlay is 30 million for the DAED, the design,
right,
about 3.8 million for the replacement of ICT units,
I see.
and then purchase of motor vehicles and
Oh, yeah.
related expenses, about 13.8 million. These are nine motor vehicles, I think.
Okay.
So about 47.6 million.
What's the rest of the 116?
We do have the GOP counterpart for foreign assisted project. If you may recall, ma'am, we do
Yeah.
have a loan from ADB that has three components. A lot of it is capacity building, training, and creating a center for excellence with
Okay.
UP. But then we have to shoulder as our counterpart taxes and the honoraria. So it was cut out, so we're asking if it can be restored. Totals about 25 million.
Why was it removed since it's a foreign obligation?
I don't know why, but they always excise it from our budget.
So do we always not pay for it?
No,
How does it work?
last year you restored it, so we
Yeah.
were able to pay for those
Yeah.
expenses.
Yeah, kakaya naman.
Ay, nga.
Iba obligasyon natin.
Opo.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ano pa? Anything else?
Actually, that's just it. With respect to the loan proceeds, what they did last year was they just introduced an item in the unprogrammed fund.
No.
Para lang may item.
The infamous unprogrammed
Oo.
funds. Okay.
Because money's with treasury naman.
Correct.
They just need an item so they can release it. So even 1 peso actually is fine.
Right.
But last year, what the BICAM put was 76,000 pesos. Just so may item siya.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Thanks for the clarification. There's question about the planting positions in 2025. And it has to do with the discrepancy between the authorized and actual salaries of 40 positions of 29.970 million, which consequently means that there are only 204 positions funded in the 2025 budget. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Medyo nalito ako doon.
Yeah,
What's the reason?
What DBM does nowadays is they only give us funding for filled positions as of the time, what's the cutoff?
September, when they submit to us?
Yeah, as of December. Yeah, as of December.
Yeah.
If we're able to fill those other positions, the unfilled positions, then we make requests for DBM and they'll release a budget to us for that.
That you're saying as of December last year?
Yeah, as of December last year, no?
Tama
yes.
ba?
Uh-uh.
So the real number today in
What?
September of 2024,
What's our plantilla number?
just to clarify how many permanent positions PCC actually has?
Actually, right, as of June 30, we're down to 194.
Ah, nabawasan
Positions.
pa?
Yes, we do lose some people sometimes to other government agencies.
Is it government agencies, not to the private sector?
Yeah,
So it's clearly salaries? Is that what
mostly
you're
government
saying?
agencies. Yes, because the salary structure of PCC it's different from SSL. So the problem is, while initially the salaries are quite high compared to the national government, it doesn't have the annual adjustment that you have when you have SSL.
Oh.
So they've been adjusted twice by small amounts. I think in 2019 and then last year by I think
So you lose
8%.
people?
Yeah, I think that's one reason. So they go to BSP, I guess for obvious reasons. NEDA is another place they go to. For lawyers, our lawyers sometimes they become prosecutors or they're probably intent on becoming judges at some point, so that's why they leave. But we don't have a problem hiring. We
Yeah.
do get people, but then, as you know, the hiring
You can't keep
process,
them.
yeah, takes a little long, so there's a bit of a gap.
Yeah, it's a little problematic because 194 is quite a bit less than 244.
Well, 244 is the total plantilla.
Uh-oh.
What was filled last year was 204, and now we're down to 194. But we're continuously hiring. We're actually planning to upgrade our organizational chart because we're able to see ano yung kulang,
Yeah,
what we need more of, what we maybe need less of.
right.
And so we'll be working with DBM on the revision.
Uh-huh. So, yes, I think it seems clear that aside from the salary structure, like you said, na ang hiring okay naman, tabla-tabla, pero yung promotions and increases are so slow. Pero I think in addition to that, you probably have to reorganize
Yes.
simply because the Philippine Commission was something embarked upon without much thought or experience.
Yes.
So we will be needing help, and if you need any legislative action, we're certainly open to it, knowing full well that this is a work in progress. Nakita rin natin yung performance nung COVID, nung pandemic. Medyo magulo yung provision. Hindi siya effective. No?
Yeah.
Kaya sana mas maging matugis yun. And that's why I just took note of this, of the plantilla, because I think you probably have to break down into smaller bureaus, desks, offices, units, without meddling in your operation. It seems clear that you have to break it up a little bit.
Yes, there's certain departments or divisions that we need to expand or create divisions in that perhaps were not really anticipated before, but from experience we've seen, okay, we need to do
How long
this.
have you been in operation na nga?
The PCC was set up in 2016.
2016,
Yeah,
ano?
the law was passed 2015. So,
Right. 2016 siya nag-operationalize, ano?
Yes.
Oo. So, you received allotments of 1.275 billion and only 613 million was obligated, or only 48%.
Yeah. Yes, the bulk of
What's the reason for the low obligation, low
Yeah.
utilization of foreign assisted projects ba yan?
the foreign assisted, because what happened was for 2023 it was included in the budget of PCC, and I think that was about 288 million. 288 million.
M.
And
Tapos?
so when they were looking at budget utilization, they included that, even though that 288 was not meant to be spent the entire year.
No.
It's meant to be spent over a
For how long
longer
dapat?
period. Well, it's supposed to end next year. But we've been talking to DOF to possibly extend it 2 years because we lost 2 years due to COVID. We weren't able to...
Wait, but this is 2023, what COVID?
Oh yeah, yung sa 2023, pinasok po kasi sa budget yun.
Yes.
In 288, but it wasn't intended to be utilized for the entire year. It's supposed to cover, again, 3 different components. And it was never the plan that it should be done within that exact year.
What are these projects? Just to get a handle on.
A lot of it is really capacity building and training. So it includes scholarships. We're able to send people to the UK, EU, to the US, Australia, quite a bit. And then we're also, it's also supposed to be for materials and improving our processes. And lastly, we're supposed to, with the University of the Philippines, establish a Center for Excellence in Competition Law and Policy. So that we also have to work with UP because they're the ones who are supposed to manage it. And I think that's the bulk of the remaining budget is for that.
So the 288 was the remainder, and what about this the outstanding 600 million plus or minus? Kasi 42, ang sabi dito, ang Ang actual disbursed is only 48%.
Yeah, here. Yes, yeah, if you look, if you remove the 288,
Right.
yes, then that means that our obligation rate would probably fall on maybe about the 76% rate.
Okay.
But and part of the reason for the not too high obligation rate was we had 3 new members of the commission last year. I came in February. Commissioner Beth, you were January, I think. Yeah, and Commissioner Ferdy was March.
Okay.
And they're new, like Commissioner Ferdy is new in government, so there's an adjustment period how to work on the budget and all
Sure.
that. So we're hoping this year it won't happen. I think
Alright.
we're on track this year.
If you could provide the breakdown on those foreign assisted projects.
Yes.
And if you could name them, simply because someone might ask
Yes,
in
yes.
plenary. If you have a carryover from 2023 from the pandemic, siguro isama na rin yun.
Yes.
So, you're saying we're going to need another 2 years to fully implement the project. So where are we? Are we midway through the completion of this project?
Oh, there you are. The central vessels, no? Yeah, for the first 2 components, we've caught up already, I think, from the delay caused by the pandemic. But
Okay.
for the third one, because we have to rely also on the University of the Philippines, so we need better coordination actually, kasi medyo mabagal yung process. But they're trying to tie it also to the building. Floors out of the 9 floors will be owned by UP, and they're supposed to use that for that center.
I see. I see. So, what accomplishments of PCC can we tout for 2024? Were you able to file cases, secure convictions? We're extremely bloodthirsty here in the Senate.
Well, we were our enforcers already filed the statement of objections on the Onion case, where the allegation is 12 players that formed the cartel, and what they were doing was dividing up the market, including the importation and including the permits for importation, the SPS. Yeah.
Was that
Yes, it's
filed
been
na?
filed with us, and
And then, what did you do since?
we're waiting for the answers of the respondents. Only one is answered so far, but
So the cases haven't been filed. This is ongoing.
it's ongoing. It's ongoing. Actually, we'll be adjudicating that case. It's an administrative case. The criminal aspect is being studied with the Department of Justice, because the threshold needed for a criminal case is different from needed
Of
for
course.
us.
But I understand there are already convictions within the DA. Is that a separate
I think it's a separate. Might
set
be.
of cases? Because they're exactly what you're speaking
Oh,
about,
yes.
the onion cases.
Yeah, I think this was the sale to
FTI.
FTI, yes.
Oo.
This is different. This was, I think they purchased at a high rate and they sold it
At a low
at
rate.
a low rate.
Parang ganun din yung FTI.
Yun po. That's the one in FTI.
Right. Paano to?
Ito,
Monopoly. Well,
cartel.
cartelized.
Yeah, basically what happened was in 2023, the second
Right.
half, the price of onions up to, I think, January of 2024
Yeah.
went through the roof. And it turned out this group,
Pero pareho yan, ah. Tumutumbok yan.
Yes,
Bebenta
yes.
kami ng sibuyas sa Ilocos, kaya kabisado ko itong mga kasong to. So, pinaghiwalay ba yan? Kasi, bakit yung isa may conviction na ito pending pa rin?
it's a different case sa kanila eh. Because
Talaga?
the ones sued there were the government officials
DA,
of
yeah.
DA. They were sued criminally before the Sandigan Bayan by the Ombudsman. This one, we're looking at how they divided the market, which caused the increase in the price.
Are there any major mergers and acquisitions that are being monitored or evaluated as we speak?
Yes, I think the biggest one is the LNG terminal, which involves 3 companies that are, one is SMC, the other one is Aboitis, and the other one is Meralco. That's
Yeah.
ongoing. And then we also have the this GCash. No? Yeah.
Okay.
We also have a transaction between GCash and ECPay, proposed acquisition. I
Anong
think.
pangalan?
GCash,
Oh, Gcash we know.
yeah, and ECPay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ano yun? EasyPay is local?
Local, foreign owned, but local. It's local.
Local.
Yeah.
Okay. So, siguro, ang hihingin ko sa inyo, ng mga contribution ng PCC
Okay.
sa ating negosyo. Yung report ninyo, walang hambog walang konting yabang. Kailangan kasi maglista rin tayo ng accomplishment to justify increases. Like we did last year, I sort of cobbled together some kind of accomplishment report. And I'd appreciate if you could do that. Necessarily, they'll involve cases filed, prosecutions, if any, mergers and acquisitions reports, and whatever contributions you have made as an agency for securing fair business, competition, and compliance, and basically just improving the notorious monopolistic tangent of our business. So, kung pwede lang, mag-report rin kayo ng nagawa ninyo para yun rin ang basehan ko para tignan ulit yung mga binawas ng DBCC sa inyo. Okay, with further questions, and I think with the submission of some partial reports and a clarification on your foreign assisted, yung clarification on foreign assisted and some kind of accomplishment report, some bragging rights to a few things here and there to justify an increase, if any. And with that, I am able now to endorse to the Mother Committee from Subcommittee I, the Mother Committee of Finance in the Senate, the budget of the Philippine Competition Commission. Thank you very much. And you may go. Thanks.
12, Senator.
Spot. Yes, I think you've all been waiting patiently. Yes, thank you. Is anyone here? Yes. All right. Who's going to be presenting your budget? I don't see Mr. Quijano.
I will, Madam Chair.
Okay, Apollo Reche. All right, thanks. If we can make it very brief, I'm really hungry and I'll be even in a worse mood. We'll call on our secretary first to acknowledge the presence of the National Commission of Senior Citizens.
For the National Commission on Senior Citizens, we have Dr. Mary Jean Loreche, together with Commissioner Mansilungan, Lieutenant General Ricardo Iner Cruz III, Commissioner Enriqueta Rodeles, Commissioner Commissioner Dr. Idaya Patron, Active Executive Director Emmanuel Daes, and for the Commission on Audit, they are presented by State Auditor 3 Miguel Trabok. For the Department of Budget and Management, Director 4 Sofia Yanto Abad is with us. That's all, Senator.
Thank you, Secretary. And Dr. Loreche, you said you were going to be presenting. Let's be very quick. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. May I have for the first slide would be presenting to you the fiscal year 2024 NEP versus the fiscal year 2025 NEP. And as you can see, Madam Chair, that there is a marked increase in our allocation for the budget by around 112,073%. This is from 26,926 to 3,035,200. That will account actually for the expanded centenarian cash gift and the centenarian.
Yes, we're aware of that. We sponsored it. Thank you.
Yes, so that will show our NEP. And for the next slide, that would be the fiscal year 2025 budget proposal versus the 2024 GAA. Again, the agency specific that we are requesting is 5,533,100,000. This will also cover the expanded centenarians for a portion of 2024 when the law was signed. And the next slide, of course.
The law was hanging?
On March 17 of 2024, because 2025, Madam Chair, the budget that was given to us will cover January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2025. When the law was signed on March 17 of 2024, there was no provision for the expanded centenarian cash gift.
That's right. Laws are not known to retroact, however.
Yes po. So kaya po yan naka-reflect lang po dyan, just in case na i-consider po ito.
I think that will have to be a separate request to DBM and doesn't constitute part of your budget.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And the next slide that I would like to show would be the transferred programs WD to us, to NCSC, that is the assistance to older persons that was transferred to us at 1.7 million last March signing. And we just want to inform your Madam Chair that the NCA from DBM was only released August 27 of this year, and the Land Bank of the Philippines.
Yes, carry on, sorry.
Opo. And the Land Bank of the Philippines issued the check booklet for us to be able to disburse the assistance to older persons just most recently, September 24. That's why it will be reflected there that our utilization at 518,334.14 is the only amount that we have disbursed to the OSCA FECAP meetings and the institutional support to NAPSI. However, with the release already of the check booklet from Land Bank last week, then I believe that we would be able to utilize the remaining 1.4 million from the assistance to older persons. The next slide. The next slide, Madam Chair, is only on the Expanded Centenarians Act for Republic Act number 11982, showcasing here the physical targets of individuals that will be receiving the expanded cash gift and the centenarian, 275,342 individuals, and the administrative cost computed at 1.96%. The next slide, of course, will show how the allocation and breakdown of the cash gift, including that of the administrative cost of 1.96%. Next slide. I think I would like to show, of course, the financial performance, this is a historical fund utilization. That
Yes, we're aware of that. How long is this presentation? Is there much more?
I think there's only 2 more slides,
Thank
Madam
you. Okay,
Chair.
please proceed.
So this is a historical fund utilization showing an average of 53%. But the next 2 slides will, of course, show how we are today. That as of June 30 of 2024, we were able to utilize 43% of our budget. And as December 30, 2024 to date, we are already at 59% in our budget utilization. The subsequent slides will only show us the catch-up plan summary, but I want to focus on the hiring status because this is one of the milestones. We target that by October 30, we should be able to fill up all plantilla positions around 93%. As of September 24, we have filled up 182 of the 320, which is 57% already. So I think, Madam Chair, that is all there is for our presentation this morning.
Yes, thank you very much. And I have a few questions. So, right. So, my records don't match yours. You are saying that from 2021 to 2023, you had a utilization rate of 53%.
That's the average utilization, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
but as of June 2024, you only utilized 43%.
I think in there that's
So it's not, in fact, improving,
it is
or is it?
it is, Madam Chair.
So for 2024, what is your utilization rate? I have 43%. That's lower than your average.
That's as of June 30, 2024, Madam Chair. That was June 30 only, but as of today, September 30, our utilization rate is 59%.
I think the rightful cutoff is December 2024 for the budget of 2024. As of December 2024, what was the utilization rate?
For 2024, if it's June 30, then it would be at 43%, Madam Chair.
O kaya nga. So it's actually getting worse rather than better.
I would say, Madam Chair, that
No,
we
it
have
is.
improved.
These are numbers.
Yeah.
That's why we love math, right?
Yes.
It's because they're absolute. And 43 is 10% less than 53. Yes, I think DBM wants to rescue you. Yes,
Please.
Director Abad, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam
Po.
Chair. Let me just explain po. Their utilization of December 2023 was only at 52.86%. So when they reported a 42.72% as of June 30, it can be thus considered as a marked improvement already, considering that's already first half of the year vis-a-vis the 52.86 annual BUR in 2023, Madam Chair.
Okay, thanks. Therefore, as of today, do you have any improved numbers
Yes,
from June
yes, Madam-
2024
yes,
to
Madam
the present?
Chair. As of today,
So from January 2024 until today,
we have
what's
already
the utilization now?
our
If it's not
utilization
43.
our utilization rate is already at 59%, Madam
September?
Chair. As of September 30,
September 30
today,
is what?
59%, Madam Chair.
Okay. So you're already better, and that's not December yet.
Definitely po.
Oh, sige. So I can report that there are, as you know, many who question the national security. What's the status of the field offices? Meron na ba?
Yes po. We have
Ilan na
already
yung field offices, just by way of information?
There's
po?
already, for the offices itself, Madam Chair, there's 11 functional already. There's 5 under procurement. So that should be 16 because we have 16 regional offices supposedly in our country. As to filling up of plantilla positions, we are already at 53%, Madam Chair. Ongoing recruitment right now, and yeah.
Divergent numbers. I have 49%. So paano naging 53? Nadagdagan na mula sa submission ninyo?
Opo, Madam Chair, as of September 24, we have already 182 plantilla positions filled up, which is 57% out of 320 that is allocated to us, Madam
Teka,
Chair.
you just said 53%. Bakit naging 67?
Which one? A field opposition, Madam Chair, is 182 out of 320 as of September 24, which
Kaya
is
nga, so that's
57%.
57 or 53 kanina?
57.
What's the problem? Why is it so difficult to fill up the remaining position?
I think,
Nangangalahati pa rin kayo.
but Madam Chair, by October 30, we would be at 93% already filled the position. This, I would like to explain it in this manner. That
Mababa ba ang sahod na binibigay ninyo? Ba't ang tagal?
I think it's not really the sahod, Madam Chair. There are two things here that we have to consider. Number one, prior to suspension of our existing chair, the hiring and the recruitment, including the interview, has to be by panel. It happens once a month. But after he was suspended and upon convening the rest of the commissioners, we have decided that for those who are in the lower ranking positions, that should be given to the commissioner in charge for the interview together with HR and PSB.
Okay, that's a very reasonable change. What else are you going to do?
And there are a lot of selected positions already that we have finished in terms of our hiring, but because of the limitation of the authority granted me by the Office of the President, I cannot sign the contracts of newly hired plantilla personnel.
Who has to hire them?
Po.
Who's to sign the contract?
I'm supposed to sign that, Madam Chair, as the OIC, but it was not indicated in the functions that was released to me when the Office of the President issued the authority for me to be the OIC.
Oh, so have you asked for...
Yes po, several times already, Madam Chair, and the latest that
When
we have...
was the first time?
We immediately submitted that in August, and then I think August 5, we submitted
Oh, but
a
that's
request.
2024.
Yeah, and then our latest letter was last week,
Okay.
and we received already a notification from the Office of the Executive Secretary to write him again the list of personnel that we have to sign, including the remaining plantilla positions that I need the authority to sign, Madam Chair.
I see. Thank you. Can you enlighten us on the assistance to older persons, the ATOP? What have you accomplished? How many beneficiaries? What are you giving? It's a program that we're not very well informed about. You mentioned something about the land bank giving you the checks finally, and that therefore you will be able to disburse with greater expediency.
Yes, Madam Chair. This assistance to older persons is actually a program under the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and we were given the balance of 1.7 million budget for the entire year. We had the mining sometime in March 20, and since this is a trust fund, we really need to process this separately, and the NCA was only released to us August 27 of this year, and our checkbook for us to be able to issue the payments for the claims was only
You
released
mentioned
September
it's a
24.
trust fund. Can you explain?
It's with the Bureau of Treasury, Madam Chair. So the fund will have to be via from DSWD again to the Bureau of Treasury, and that has to be transferred to us. And so we had to
So
process.
it goes from Treasury to DSWD muna?
Galing po ng DBM yung release para sa amin po.
Teka, pero nabanggit mo DSWD? So,
Opo, galing po
kasama
sa
pa rin ang
DSWD.
DSWD o
Opo,
hindi
sa
na?
kanila po galing yung fund na yan, Madam Chair.
Nasa DSWD pa rin ang...
Na-transfer na po sa amin, bago lang.
Pero yung ATOP, nasa DSWD?
Kata-transfer po sa amin, Madam Chair.
O kaya nga, bakit binabanggit mo na from Treasury pupunta pa sa DSWD?
Kasi po, continuing operation po siya, Madam Chair.
Pero diretso ang release ng DBM sa inyo, di ba?
After,
So wala
after
ng DSWD para
wala
sa
na po, sa amin na po
2025?
ngayon.
Nasa
Opo.
inyo na yan eh.
Opo.
Oo, yeah. Oo.
In August 27 po, nasa amin na po yan.
Okay, fine. All right.
And this assistance to older persons, Madam Chair, if you you notice in one of the slides that I presented, based on the guidelines given to us, not transmitted to
Yes,
us,
can you just give us the general terms of those guidelines? What in general?
it's really more of assistance to the various senior citizens, support for their meeting.
For the organization?
Yes po, it's not direct giving to the individual
I see.
older
Support
person.
to the organizations. How many
Yes.
organizations do you have registered with you?
Right now, there's around, ilan na? Yeah, this is via the Federation for Senior Citizens Association of the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin
Yeah,
po,
I know
one per
that. I'm a
barangay.
little bit lost with the FSCA.
Opo.
Dahil meron rin kayo rito, hindi naman kayo nakakapag-accredit. Kanino niyo ibibigay ito kung hindi nakakapag-accredit? Sana nga ba yun? I recall an item here indicating that you had trouble
Nasa
accrediting
registration
these
pa lang kami,
associations.
nasa registration pa lang po kami, Madam Chair, kasi nga po itong programs na ito ay kalilipat lang po sa amin, pero accreditation of the FESCAP, nasa atin po yan, may guidelines po tayong ni-release niyan.
No,
And-
right now, I understand that
Wala pa.
5 applications were received. All of them were rejected for lack of sufficient documentation. Paano kayo magbibigay sa ATOP kung wala kayo ma-accredit na mga organizations?
I believe, Madam Chair, kasi they need to...
1, 0.